Hello everyone, we are from group 14. Our group is going to present IELTS academic speaking as one of the assessment methods. My name is Lynette Cherop. To start with, I will introduce IELTS speaking test. IELTS speaking test is a face-to-face interview where a certified examiner assesses our spoken English ability in a conversational setting. And it has a total time of 11 to 14 minutes with 3 interview parts. And also has 4 assessment criteria with fixed band descriptors. The 4 assessment criteria are fluency and coherence, lexical resource, grammatical range, and accuracy, and we have pronunciation. Who is the main user of IELTS academic speaking test? We have students, non-native English speakers who wish to study at undergraduate or postgraduate levels in institutions that use English as instructional language or seeking professional registration, for example, the doctors and the nurses. We also have higher institutions and other professional organizations enrolling students who are not native English speakers based on students' band score. We have procedure of the test. We have speaking part 1, which is introduction and interview. Speaking part 2, which is a long turn, where you have to read the task cards that ask candidates to express their opinion on a given topic. And we have speaking part 3, which is basically discussion, where discussion with examiner issues related on topic in part 2 in a more general and abstract way.
Hi, my name is Dipendra and I'm going to present about validity and reliability of IELTS speaking test. I cannot record my video due to some technical issues with my laptop camera. While discussing about validity, there are different types of validity, which are construct validity, content validity, and criterion related validity and consequential validity. Construct validity in IELTS academic speaking means that the speaking test evaluate candidate using specific scoring criteria, often broken down into separate categories. For example, fluency, pronunciation, grammar, vocabulary. Each area is related individually, which help examiner focus on different aspects of oral proficiency rather than giving just one overall score. While talking about content validity, IELTS speaking test access fluency, coherence, vocabulary, grammar, and pronunciation. These areas are important components of speaking ability. By including them, the test covers many core aspects of spoken English. They support content validity because the test is sampling key skills that make up overall proficiency. And while discussing about criterion related validity, which is predictive validity, so mixed result. Predictive validity asks, does a test score predictive future performance? For IELTS, this means, do high IELTS score actually lead to better academic outcome at university, or some research show a positive link with higher IELTS scores perform better academically. Supporters argue that IELTS has values become students with higher score are generally able to cope better with academic English demands such as lecture, assessment, and discussion. Consequential validity provide a standardized, reliable global test. One major benefit is that IELTS offer a consistent and trusted measure of English ability worldwide. This is standardization ensures fairness across test takers from different countries. Reliability is testing refers to the consistency and stability of assessment result Reliable tests produce dependent outcomes across time, different set of item rathers and context. In other words, if a candidate take the test again under similar condition or if different examiner access the same performance, the results should be very familiar. Reliability in the IELTS speaking test is ensured through several careful design measures that aim to minimize variability and ensure fairness across candidates.
Bias in IELTS speaking assessment. Fairness or lack of bias. According to Walt, he reminds us that fairness is about avoiding both construct irrelevant factors and underrepresentation. There are two approaches of conceptualized fairness. Traditionally, fairness narrowly focuses on test question, test sensitivity reviews, and test bias, microanalytic or technical formalistic approach. Broadly, the test contextual framework looks at fairness through a micro lens, considering political, cultural, social, and economical factors, as well as the consequences of testing, as shown in the diagram. What does IELTS do to ensure fairness? First, it uses standardized scoring rubrics with clear defined best criteria. Examiners receive scripted guidance for interviews, and all speaking tests are recorded for reviews. Examiners are also regularly trained and monitored to increase awareness of fairness practice. Furthermore, IELTS adapt tests for candidates with special needs, incorporates ongoing feedback for research. However, unsolved bias still exists. One, cultural bias can occur with unfamiliar topics, disadvantaging candidates from different backgrounds. Interactional bias. Since IELTS speaking assessment is face-to-face or by video, the rapport between examiner and candidates can affect performance. Examiner's bias. Examiners may unconsciously favor candidates based on appearance or personality. Accent bias remains an issue as some examiners may struggle with unfair accent, leading to inconsistent scoring.
The general definition of bandwidth is the range or variety of crucial knowledge or skills that are included in the test content. Skills are often generalized into measurable criteria or constructs for more efficient scoring and interpreting. Fidelity refers to the extent to which a test truly reflects the candidate's ability to manage a test in real-world context. Test time usually constrains the fidelity. The key for assuring both practicality and validity on a test is reaching the balance between bandwidth and fidelity. Now let's look at a case study examining the fidelity of IELTS speaking. Researchers analyzed recordings of online classes and meetings to identify the most important spoken language functions that are used in digitally delivered university programs. Then compare the results to the functions elicited in the IELTS video conferencing speaking test. This is the result of the research. We can find that most of the informational functions that are being used in online academic settings are used in IELTS speaking test or being elicited, whereas key interaction function or managing interaction functions are not. This proves that IELTS has moderate level of fidelity. The second study examining the bandwidth of IELTS speaking. Researchers investigate the correlation between linguistic features in IELTS speaking performance with different linguistic approaches. CAP approach views proficiency as comprising of complexity, accuracy, and fluency, whereas the linguistic approach assumes that complexity of spoken discourse is represented by causal subordination. Acoustic pronunciation approach We use proficiency as comprehensibility, intelligibility, and accentiveness. The result shows that IELTS speaking test covers comprehensive linguistic knowledge and skills represented in all these theories. Meaningful features of these theories are also being elicited or being used as key indicators in IELTS speaking test. By comparing scoring indicators of grammatical range of IELTS with meaningful features of these theories, we can identify a lot of similarities. This proves that IELTS has a broad bandwidth. Also, its scoring validity.
Hello everyone, my name is Vishakha, and today I'll be talking about measurement under IELTS speaking. Well, first of all, starting with measurement definition. Well, generally, measurement is about observing the evidence through which results can be obtained. However, the standards can be specific or separate for every other things. For instance, in IELTS speaking is measured based on 4 criteria, namely fluency and coherence, lexical resources with grammatical range, and accuracy followed by correct pronunciation. Well, talking about this, these are the scoring criteria for academic and general training test, which are the band descriptors for IELTS speaking. It depends on fluency and coherence, lexical resources, grammatical range, accuracy, and pronunciation. It has given all the descriptors with which an individual can gain or score Band 9, Band 8, and Band 7. Well, fluency and coherence, the viability of speaking smoothly and without long pauses with less repetition of words, this is what fluency is. Having said that, everyone judges by their personal understanding of being fluent. The examiner might not always be legitimate with his or her observation. And scoring marks can remain subjective, especially in fluency and pronunciation. Well, moving forward with lexical resources. Resources, basically it depends on the ability to be accurate or having a range of vocabulary in which the students are recommended to use simplest form of vocabulary and avoid using perplexed word. Well, this is also recommended to use familiar words rather than using unfamiliar words to the examiner. Furthermore, if the student knows how to use complex, compound, and simple sentences and can easily switch from basic to advanced structure of language, pronunciation is about pronouncing the word that is easily understood and knows where to emphasize in a word. Well, the candidates are from different linguistic backgrounds and may face difficulties as they pronounce in a certain manner. But it also depends on the culture that they are coming from. So basically, this is something what defines the criteria. Moving forward, all the criteria are given equal percentages. Say for example, fluency is given 25%, vocabulary is given 25%. Similar goes with the grammatical range and pronunciation. All of these criteria takes 25% each.
Overall, IELTS academic speaking has high validity and reliability, yet it needs to enhance the predictive validity and construct validity. In terms of fairness, IELTS and its partners have done some great effort over the years, yet it needs ongoing bias detect and defense. Bandwidth and fidelity of IELTS are adequately balanced, yet it needs more authenticity to enhance fidelity. Measurement of IELTS are quite reliable and efficient, yet it needs more precise distinction of measuring scale to distinct close score. Thank you guys for listening and watching.